Hi friends! Today I'm going to be sharing one of my all-time very favorite slow cooker recipes. I filmed this a couple of weeks ago, but I'm only just getting to editing it now for you. But I discovered this recipe, I'm going to say, easily 30 years ago. And to this day, it is my favorite slow cooker recipe. It is easy, it is impressive, so if you have company coming over, it is delicious. It's got a little sweet and tang and savory, and the secret ingredient, you guys, is adding a little bit of balsamic vinegar and a little something something at the end, and the leftovers are just as great as the first time you eat this dish. So I really hope you give this a whirl. Please leave me a comment down below if you do. Let me know how you like it. I know you're gonna love it. And in the video, I used my dry canned potatoes as a side that I just pan fried. But mashed potatoes are excellent as well. But we pretty much only had canned potatoes in the house at the time of me making this pot roast. I usually do mashed potatoes, and I said, well, we got all those dry canned potatoes. And I'll tell you what, they were so good with this pot roast that now I'm torn. I don't know if I would do mashed potatoes again with it or just stick with the pan fried potatoes, but either way, it's delicious, and I think you are going to love it as much as my family and I do. So without further ado, let's get into it. So to start, I have some limpy looking celery, but there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just gonna cut the tops off. Now, I have been freezing a lot of my celery, and this one I wanted to keep in the fridge for salads and things like that, and honestly kind of forgot about it, so it's time to use it up. And look, see, it's perfectly fine. If it gets like that, don't throw out all your celery, you know that. So the recipe calls for 3 stalks of celery. This is round about my 3 stalks of celery. Slice thinly, which honestly, you don't have to slice it thinly. You can slice it however you want, which is what I'm doing. Okay, and I'm just going to put this into a frying pan because I'm going to saute this up with some onion. And the rest of the celery, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it to keep it in the fridge even longer. So I'm just taking off the end. Which, by the way, I've been saving these and putting them in a little bowl of water, and the sprouts come back up, and planting them in my garden. So I have 4 or 5 celery plants growing in my garden just from using the celery I bought from the store. So that's pretty cool. Okay, then I'm going to turn it around. See, take out the ones that are looking a little scary. This bit is always my favorite for anything that I'm cooking with celery. So I'm just taking the ends off. Now I'm going to rinse these under some cold water. And now that they're rinsed and clean, I just roll them up in paper towel. Put them back in the bag from which they came. And I'm going to pop that in the fridge. And that will still be good for another week or 2 at least. All right. These little ones, may as well give them a little rinse and throw them in the pan as well. Next up, onion. I only have red onions in the house right now. I have some white onion that's frozen. I'm going to save that because they were chopped a little bit finer than what I want to use in this recipe. And I always like to say, use what you have. Use what you have. And the bits that I've been cutting off my celery and my onions can go in the freezer bag for your next batch of vegetable stock, which is what I like to do. Alrighty. I'm going to put that in the pan. I know I'm like really loading up my pan, but I just want to get this meal made and not fart around. Whew. That onion's got some power to it. And that's my National Geographic bird clock going in the background telling me it's 10 in the morning. So I'm glad I'm getting this dish on the go. This is going on the stove with a little bit of butter. So I have about a tablespoon of butter in here, and now I'm adding about the same with olive oil. The butter is optional. I like it. It adds a little flavor. So I'm just going to stir those around and let them saute just a little bit. Let's move on to the roast. Before we move on to the roast, let's talk about carrots. Ordinarily, I always put carrots in with my vegetables when I'm sauteing them, and I also have no fresh carrots in the house. But guess what I do have? My dry canned potatoes, and in some of the jars you can see I added carrots. This is where having something like this in your pantry is such a time saver. So what I'm going to do instead is, once the roast is cooked and we're about ready to sit down to eat, I'm going to pan fry these potatoes and carrots up, and they are going to go beautifully with this supper. Okay, I've got my old Bessie out here, my tried and true crock pot that's probably about 20 years old at least. And I went through my freezer today, and I have a 2-pound beef roast. I'm not sure which cut this is. We have a wonderful friends down the road that have a farm. We get all our beef and turkeys from them, and this is what I'm using. Now, because I did not plan ahead, my roast is not thawed. If I were using a roast that were thawed, I would be searing it. But as you can see, it's rock solid frozen. And I have a very full day, so I just want to get dinner going, fix it, forget about it. So this beautiful roast is just going in as is. And it's gonna be fine, trust me. 10 o'clock in the morning. We won't be eating until probably about 6 o'clock tonight. This will be melt in your mouth, tender, delicious. Let me go check my vegetables. Veggies are doing the happy dance. I'm going to add some garlic, but I wanted to just get these simmering, sauteing just a little bit before I add my garlic. Tell you another reason why I'm getting our dinner together in the slow cooker is, even though it's the first week of July and we've been getting some hot weather, we have some potential heavy rain coming. We had a little bit this morning, but it could be pretty substantial. Don't know. It's hard to say with the weather these days. So it's looking a little bit cloudy outside, so I am not going to worry about anything with dinner today. I don't think the power is going to go out. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I know New Brunswick is going to be getting walloped today, so it's just nice to know I've got something simmering away no matter what the weather brings. Are you supervising? Yes. Are you supervising, Forrest? You're a good boy, aren't you? Yes. Yes. Okay, veggies are doing the happy dance, so let's add some garlic. Just using, let's say that. I'm going to say that's 2 teaspoons. Best seasoning salt in the world, in my humble opinion. Best pepper in the world, in my humble opinion. I'm also going to add some salt and pepper to the beef. Alright. I'll tell you right now, I can turn that heat off, because these are just the way I want them. The onions are translucent. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. I'm so excited about this dinner. I have not made this for so long, and it is hands down my very favorite slow cooker recipe. I've been making it for so many years. Alright, I am just pouring this right on top of that there beef. Scrape out all that goodness. I just remembered that I forgot to add my flour and stuff. So let's just get those veggies off that beef and get those veggies back into the pan. Oh yes, I'm keeping it real. I'm not gonna edit any of this out because I want you guys to know shit happens and it's okay. No need to get our knickers in a knot. Just put those veggies back in so that we can add our flour and our beef broth and all the other bits and pieces. And then proceed. Take 2. When I said it's been a long time since I made this recipe, now you know I wasn't kidding because clearly I forgot the steps. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's move on to whatever else we're supposed to do. Fortunately, I printed off my handy dandy recipe. And there's a little note here on why I call it Tina Bina's Ultimate Pot Roast, because I had shared this recipe with my mom, and my mom it'll be, what will it be, 15 years next month that she's passed away. And after she passed, it was her recipe book and recipe boxes that I wanted because, of course, seeing her handwriting and you know, making the meals that I grew up on, that my mom made. Anyways, I found she had written down this recipe in her recipe book, and she titled it Tina Bina. She was the only one that ever called me Tina Bina, so I just decided, you know what, I'm going to keep it Tina Bina. And if you're interested in this cookbook, check out the link down below because I've put all my favorite tried and true slow cooker recipes, including my mom's recipes, my grandma's recipes I've gotten for friends. Like, those are all the best type of recipes, right? And yeah, so I put them all together in a little book. Okay, what are we supposed to do next, Tina Bina? We are going to season it. So we're going to add, well, we did add our seasoning, salt, and pepper, but I didn't add the thyme. So I'm going to go ahead and add some thyme. Whoa, not that much. I'm being generous with the thyme because I think, well, there's no thinking about it. The thyme in this recipe, you guys, makes it, I tell ya. So I'm going to say, what did I put on the recipe? In the recipe, I put half a teaspoon of thyme. Yeah, that was not half a teaspoon of thyme. But if you're not like, you know, if you want a milder type dish, stick with what's in the original recipe. But I love thyme, and so I like to add more. And that's the beauty of being a cook. We are the artistes in our own kitchen, y'all. All right, yum. Okay, next, a little bit of dry mustard. Here's my dry mustard. And I'm going to add a teaspoon. Wait a minute, there's a little, there we go. I'm not using an actual teaspoon measurement because, did I mention, I got things to do today. I just want to get this going. Oh my goodness. Cooking really is so relaxing for me. I absolutely love it. I find it's really therapeutic. And it's so satisfying to not only make it, but when you're sharing it and people are enjoying your food, like, is there anything better? It's such a great feeling. Okay, so I got my salt, pepper, thyme, mustard. We got the garlic in there. Time to add some flour, but I want to have my beef broth ready and my tomato soup. Okay, beef broth. Half a cup of water, and I'm using my Better Than bouillon. So I am gonna add a teaspoon. And I'm using really hot tap water to dissolve that. If you're new to my channel, you may not know, but we live out in the country and we have well water, and our water is wonderful, wonderful water. Tastes delicious. It is a bit hard water, so of course when I'm canning, I do add a little bit of vinegar to my water when I'm doing the water bath, for instance, or even pressure canning, so that I don't get that white residue on my jars. Okay, enough chitter chatter. What's next? What's next? What's next? I need my tomato soup. Okay. Because once we get the flour in this mixture, it's going to thicken up really, really fast. And I know I'm filming at a weird angle. Excuse me, but I'm just trying to get this done. Get her done. All right. Tomato soup. And spatula to get that out because I need a smaller spatula than that spatula. And I need my Worcestershire. Another ingredient I use a lot in my cooking. Worcestershire. Worcester. Anyways, so flour. Now, this is why you need to have everything ready, because this is where things are going to thicken up. Let me just toss these around a little bit. Okay, 2 tablespoons of flour. Sprinkle it on. Okay. Stir it up. You want to get all that flour absorbed into your butter and oil. If you've ever made a roux before, then you'll know how this works. All right. Next up, I am going to add my beef broth. You know, I was a little bit concerned about this frying pan being a little bit too small, but boy, those veggies cook down, don't they? So it was just right. So see how that's thickening up so delightfully. I'm going to add my Worcestershire and a tablespoon or so. I'm going to stir that up just like that. Make sure you turn your stove down a little bit because you don't want this to get a little crazy on you here. Okay. Tomato soup. So whenever things like canned things like soups or veggies go on sale, I always buy a flat of them. That's how I was raised. When things went on sale, my mom would buy things in bulk or buy things by the flat. Buy meats on sale, butter on sale, all those things, and then put them in your freezer or put them in your pantry. And then when you go to do your regular grocery shopping, you shouldn't have to spend so much money because your pantry is full from what you've bought on sale, including your, dried beans and things like that, oatmeal. I always make sure I have all those things in my pantry. And then when we do need groceries throughout the week, it's usually like if we're getting low on eggs or getting low on milk, things like that. So I'm really glad that my mom taught me things like that. Growing up, I wasn't so pleased because if Thousand Island dressing was on sale, my mom would buy the huge, I think it came by the gallon, and I got tired of things like Thousand Island dressing after a while, but she sure taught me how to save money on groceries and how to stretch out meals, and I'm very, very lucky to have some of those lessons passed on by my mom. All right, is this ready for the slow cooker? Yes, I do believe it is. Okay, now we can pour it on the beef. That looks right. I remember now. This is how it's supposed to look. And of course you're gonna get all the juices from your beef mixed in with this. I'm gonna take a little bit of water and put it in this pan, just like the last little bit. Make sure I get all those seasonings. Alrighty. And as I mentioned earlier, friends, ordinarily I would have carrots in here. However, I don't have any carrots, fresh carrots in the house. I make homemade dog food for Cooper. And I used the last of the carrots. In fact, the last batch of dog food, he didn't even have carrots. He only had his sweet potato and butternut squash. So I will need to go get some carrots at the store. Now, if you want, you could add a couple bay leaves. That would be fine. I'm going to add a little bit more water to this. Like a quarter of a cup. Just a little bit. And the reason I'm doing that is because that roast is so frozen. It is so frozen, it needs to warm up in the slow cooker and turn into a thing of beauty. Okay, I'm going to put this on low. And I will come back later today and show you what to do next. So this is what it looks like after it's been simmering all day. I have not taken the lid off once. I just put the fork in and I'm like, oh, get the camera. I should be filming this, but look at this, you guys. That, my friends, is the definition of fork tender. I mean, look at that. I'm holding my phone with my left hand and I'm just like touching this roast and the meat is just falling apart. Like, holy. All right, so now I'm gonna add the magic ingredients that transform this entire meal. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. My husband is going to lose his mind when he sees this when he gets home from work. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the meat out. And then, let me move this so you can really see the scrumptiousness. Is that a word? It sure is. Scrumptiousness into this bowl. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, and I should mention, it's 20 after 5. So I haven't done anything to this since when did I start this morning? 10 something or other? Okay. I'm not going to worry if there's still the odd little bit of beef in there. I'm just putting in 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. And let me tell you, first of all, let me tell you this. This is delicious even if you skip the brown sugar and the balsamic vinegar. However, trust me on this one, adding the vinegar and the brown sugar, my guys, I don't even know what to tell you. It's so delicious. Okay. Give it a little whiskey. I'm just going to put my beautiful beef back in. Look, I'm just breaking some of this beef up. You could slice it. You can make it pretty if you want. This is pretty. What am I talking about? It's pretty no matter what you do to this beef. But I really want to break up some of the bigger bits so that I can get more sauce in with that meat. Okay, that, seriously, I really need to just try a tiny itty bitty, oh my gosh. Heaven, I'm in heaven. And I haven't even tasted it yet. Not gonna do it on camera because I've been working all day and I don't even know what I look like. Hang on. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. It's savory, sweet, tangy. It's all the things. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it on low. And I'm gonna get these potatoes and carrots on the go. Okay, my friends, this is how I usually use my dry canned potatoes because they're so convenient, so quick, and can I just tell you, they make the best pan-fried potatoes. And I think I actually showed, where am I putting the camera? We'll put the camera right there. Okay, oh my, it's Mickey Mouse. Never noticed that before. Okay, focus. Yeah, in my dry canning potato video, I'm quite certain I showed how I pan fry my dry canned potatoes. But I'll show you again in this video in case you haven't seen that. You could do this with potatoes that you buy at the store, like canned potatoes. I've never bought canned potatoes at the store, at the grocery store. I can my own. But anyways, this is delicious. And you can season them however you want. Let's just get that butter nice and melted. I'm going to pull in my Laurie's, surprise, surprise, my black pepper, and as there is time in that delightful roast beef dish, we're going to put some thyme in there. What else have we got? Let's put a little bit of rosemary and do we want summer savory? It's very much an East Coast thing. I think you can get summer savory pretty much everywhere now. Let's crank that baby up. What else do we want on these? Let's get it on. Ooh, let's pour some red wine. Red, red wine. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, I don't know if that's going to be a copyright claim, so I better hush. All right. Let's get those potatoes. Okay, we are rocking and rolling. And I'm going to pop open my jar of dry canned potatoes. These are from March. We are July. So, it wasn't, I can't believe it was March. I don't know how is it already July? Like, where are the days going, you guys? It's crazy. Oh my goodness. Do you hear that? It's the rebob. Look at my potatoes with my carrots. A little bit of starch, not too bad. Don't you worry about that. Looks worse than it is. And I did add extra butter. Yes, I did, because I felt like it. But technically, you don't have to add butter if you added a little bit of butter to your potatoes when you can them, which I did. Add a little bit of butter, not a lot. But, so I really want these to be nice and crispy golden. Just putting the whole jar in. So let me show you. Can you see in there? That's mostly potato. That's not as much starch as what it looked like. And a little bit of butter. There was no seasoning in this jar. I love that I had some canned carrots because you really need carrots with this beef dish, in my opinion. The carrots really, really make it. And not having any in the house and toddling down to my little pantry, there, lo and behold, the potatoes I needed and the carrots all in one jar. Bing a bang a boom. Life is good. Okay. Seasoning salt, just a bit. A little bit of black pepper. And we want some thyme. Put a little bit of thyme in there. Put a little bit of rosemary, just a bit. And I have a little bit of this, the bell pepper herb from Pampered Chef, so I want to use that. I just have a little bit in here, so I'm going to use it up. And what does it say is in here? It says ingredients: sea salt, dehydrated green bell pepper, dehydrated red bell pepper, brown mustard, dehydrated onion, dehydrated garlic, oregano, paprika, black pepper, fennel, and thyme. That's it. So that's what we're using. You could just simply put salt and pepper and parsley on these, and I guarantee you that will be delicious. And I should not be using metal utensils in my frying pan, should I? Well, I have to be a rebel sometimes. Okay. I'm going to turn that down on low, as low as it will go, and just let them do their thing until it's ready to serve them up for dinner. I've also decided to cook up some frozen green peas. Green beans would also be good with this meal. But yeah, we needed something green to break up all the colors. Look at, can you see how crispy those are getting? This is no longer a family channel. Alert, alert, alert. Okay, these are done. This, I don't even know if it's been 5 minutes. They really don't take long. They are honestly the best pan-fried potatoes you'll maybe ever have. I've given some jars away to those I love, who I love very, very much, and the reviews came back the same. Oh my goodness, those are amazing. Okay, so I'm turning this element off. I have my green peas on low, and I have my beautiful Tina Bina Ultimate Pot Roast on low, and now I'm gonna pour myself a little bit of red wine because it's 5:30, and why not? I've been working hard all day at the computer, so I'm gonna have a little bit of vino, get back to the computer, work for another hour or two, stop when my husband gets here, and we'll have some supper. And anyways, I'm very excited.